think we thought, based on some reports that they found the new Batman, Tom Brittany, this relative unknown. Not so fast, apparently.
This is the Villainz Lair podcast. Welcome to the lair.
And welcome everyone inside the Villainz Lair. So happy that everyone's with us here. Your hosts, Alvin and Ryan. And I want to say happy birthday, Alvin. How are you, brother?
Thanks, G. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Any big birthday plans tonight or this week?
Dude, it's all about theme parks. It's a theme park kind of birthday. So, maybe a little Disneyland, maybe a little bit of a Legoland, all the lands. We'll explore the lands.
All the lands. Well, before we get into, we got some big news to talk about today. A lot of DC stuff in the news right now. But just want to remind everyone that you can find the show and never miss an episode. You can download the audio version of the podcast on Apple, Amazon, and Spotify. You can also catch us on YouTube for the video portion. You could probably catch part of the video. You could catch the video portion on Spotify as well. So, so many options to never miss an episode, to watch it on the go, at the gym, in your car, on a nice nighttime summer stroll. That we've got you covered.
I prefer the nighttime summer stroll, but hey, to each their own. To each their own.
To each their own. Absolutely. All right. So, we didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday, but man, that was a disastrous showing for Supergirl over the weekend. $37 million. I mean, estimates were coming in during pre-sales that they thought maybe they could get close to 50. Then, as the week, we rolled into the week, they were kind of thinking maybe like mid 40s, and it was end up closer to mid 30s. So it looks, based on, percentages and how movies tend to fall off week to week here, especially in the summertime, this movie could lose potentially $100 million, and it doesn't look like it's going to even crack 200 million at the global box office, which that's going to hurt.
Damn, dude, I was really rooting for Supergirl, man. Like, I was really, really rooting for James Gunn's universe, and I really wanted it to succeed. For Toy Story 5 beating them out, that is some wild craziness. I mean, I thought, personally speaking, Toy Story, having Supergirl premiere the week after Toy Story 5 was a bad idea to begin with. Felt like you should have waited maybe a couple of weeks. But still, man, that is still no excuse to have a bad weekend. Is it because of the marketing? Because I thought they did a pretty good job marketing. Their affiliates, they were affiliated with some good sponsorships and companies. I mean, that was all over the place. It was all over social media. It was all over TV commercials. So I don't think that was it either. But does Supergirl not have enough clout? Maybe not. But still, I think it should have done better, especially with a new universe that we're just learning new characters. Also, some social media peeps out there in the interweb is criticizing that the movie maybe should have been directed by a female also. I mean, Wonder Woman was very successful when that came out, and that was directed by a woman. And, obviously they had to splash in a Lobo in there just to please some male comic book fans. But still, though, I think it should have done better for whatever it was.
Right. I don't think that the box office reflects like the quality or of the content necessarily. I mean, I know our initial Friday reviews were like mid, but I feel like as the weekend went on and I got to kind of think about it more and more, it started to go like lower for me.
Yeah.
the more I got, to like think about, okay, well, what about it like did I love, or what about it did I really like? And I kind of was, struggling. Like Lobo's fun, Lobo's cool, and he feels like he really represented the character well, and just kind of felt like a Jason Momoa impression, but that's okay. At times Tony Stark feels like a Robert Downey impression. Like they're the same. They're the same guy. So like that it's who they are. So it fits. But she was great. We talked about how it was a darker take on the character, but I just don't know that there was anything there that had like I can't wait to see more of. She's obviously going to be
Yeah.
a supporting character in Man of Tomorrow. Maybe that's where some of the contrast between Clark's and Superman's like ultimate good boy type routine, and then her being a little more ruthless, I guess, with it. Maybe that contrast is going to be more fun to play off of. But I mean, it's bad. You talked about James Gunn. Like, you've got a writer and director who's writing and directing two of the first four films. So how could he run a studio? I know he has Peter Saffran there to help him, but dude, it takes a lot to write a movie. It takes a lot to direct a movie. It takes a ton to write and direct movies. So he's not giving his full attention to Craig Gillespie and Supergirl and being an executive producer. It seems like, man, I mean, we thought the weight of the world was on this movie. After this, if Lanterns isn't a huge hit, and if the Superman sequel doesn't make $1 billion, I don't know how the new executives at Paramount or whoever owns Warner Brothers at that point keep them around for this.
No, they're pretty much screwed if Lanterns fail, in my opinion. But also, I feel like the moviegoers nowadays determine them spending their money on seeing a movie by critics on the interweb, for sure, and definitely social media. And the fact that people were able to watch this before its actual premiere sets the precedence of people wanting to spend their money on this or not. Like an example would be Obsession, right? The horror movie Obsession. There was a lot of fantastic positive clout on that movie all over, all over. And then lo and behold, it was making so much in the box office. So the fact that the movie was mid, according to a lot of people, and people who got early screenings for it, that may have determined the opening weekend for this. Maybe Warner Brothers should not have, early screenings for it if they think it was bad too. So
I mean, they like dropped their embargoes early because I think they were thinking it was going to be so positive that they wanted to build up that momentum. And there were like the super positives, but around that time, like those early internet social media reactions, those are people who saw it in a different atmosphere. Those are people who are a lot more diehard and hardcore fans already. So it's never really the most accurate for any film. Those early reactions, I don't know how much those really tell us. It's more like when the actual Rotten Tomato reviewers are able to start, sharing what they thought, then I think you get a little more of an honest reaction.
yeah, yeah, for sure. My honest reaction, maybe they should have done it like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
get a female director for Supergirl. I don't know if that would have made a difference, but
Well, yeah, you don't know. I mean, maybe I'm trying to think who the directors are that would have been at the forefront of that. But
Yeah. And not put the same template as Guardians of the Galaxy. But hey, what do I know?
yeah, there's definitely just some back to the drawing board for DC right here. Continuing for DC, I think we thought, based on some reports that they found the new Batman, Tom Brittney, this relative unknown British actor, and not so fast apparently. So John Campea, who has his own show, was saying that he had spoken to multiple sources that had told him the same name, and kind of alluded to Tom Brittney, and then is now kind of pulling back off that. Is still saying that, he believes the sources, but it may not be Tom Brittney, which seems all sorts of confusing. And that's not, that's not rare for, Campea to kind of drop some things and then be like, whoa, maybe not. I mean, he's the guy that's saying like he knows every plot point to Avengers Doomsday right now, and has co-signed on certain theories only to backtrack later. So, I mean, huge grains of salt here that it's Tom Brittney, but the internet is running with it, and that's what we have for now. So what do you think? Well, let's just assume that it's going to be this guy, that, they're going with a relative unknown in this universe. What do you think about that?
I don't trust a guy with two first names, let alone two first names and different genders. But I don't. He has stunning blue eyes. I don't see Bruce Wayne with stunning blue eyes. And there's also a rumor that Damian Wayne was supposed to be in there. And if you have Damian Wayne in this universe with this guy who looks very similar to David Cornsweet, that he's a little too young to have Damian Wayne popping up,
That's a great point.
But I'm not too excited. I always see Bruce Wayne as an A-list actor. If you start from, Batman with Michael Keaton, then you go to Val Kilmer, then you go to George Clooney, then you go to Christian Bale, and then you go to Ben Affleck. Obviously, it's all been A-list actors. Not to say that I have something against like an unknown actor playing Batman, but I always saw Batman as like such a presence on screen right away because it's Bruce Wayne. Goddammit, it's freaking Bruce Wayne. You get someone to play Bruce Wayne who is super known. Don't get me started.
That's a great point, because it is the brave and the bold. So you're going to have a teenage, Robin with you, and this guy looks barely old enough to like be starting a family, right? Yeah. I think you needed to go, if you were going to go brave and the bold, and you're going to have and Damian Wayne of all Robins, then you absolutely have to have an older, more established Bruce, which isn't this guy. Now, considering that Superman kind of broke even, Supergirl is going to lose a ton of money. We have no idea what Clayface is going to do. We have no idea if Man of Tomorrow is going to, be the breakout hit that they hope it's going to be. And now you want to focus the second most important character, if not the most important character in your entire universe, on an unknown, when you're struggling to sell box office tickets. Come on. I mean, you better be able to pivot if Clayface struggles. I mean, because you're gonna need a name to get butts in seats.
Oh yeah, you definitely are. And Batman Brave and the Bold, well, that's a lot of fan favorites. That's a really fan favorited animation and comic book for sure. And you You really need to get a good script and good names out there. And
Yeah.
even just with that's just with Batman. Now you start going with Damian Wayne and you cast someone that people dislike, there's gonna be a problem. But I'm just saying, like I'm saying, I'm rooting for James Gunn here, right? As I was saying before. And I remember when, Marvel was coming out with their, with Avengers and all this other stuff. Um I don't they I never saw like the fandoms out there like saying, "Hey, this director should do this or do that or whatever." I just don't
Hmm.
remember it at that time. And for everyone to be so critical now with like castings and all this stuff, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, it definitely is intensified. The people, the world has changed. The way we follow this genre has become so much more intense. Obviously, YouTube and
Yeah.
content creators, that whole part of media has exploded. So there's so many more voices being amplified. So you hear that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, I mean it's super important that to get the director and to get the casting correct on this, and for a ton of reasons, and all very obvious reasons. But I this is gonna be a huge moment. I mean, if James Gunn and Peter Safran and this DCU team make it to this point, because all we're hearing now is the focus is on Bane and Deathstroke movie. They're not even, they're still caught up in whatever Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson's Batman world is doing. So they're still on pause, right? As far as launching this, so we'll see. There's no presence at Comic-Con for DC Studios this year, so you're not going to get any sort of announcements. I think maybe, they're kind of waiting to see how, Supergirl did and Clayface is going to do. They've done in the past their own sort of online
Yeah.
event, so we'll see if that kind of holds true for them in the future.
Maybe they'll have another online event like they did last time. That was a few years back actually.
Hmm. It was pretty
But
cool.
yeah, but I don't I'm starting to be invested, in from Superman James Gunn's world, and I was invested with the Snyderverse. For me to be invested again on a new world, like I'm gonna be super old by then. I know today's my birthday, but like, we keep coming out with these movies every freaking year, bro. Like, we don't even get a couple of them a year anymore. We constantly wait, and we always act upon rumors. And man, this is why really I'm rooting for James Gunn because I don't want to be invested in another world right now.
Right. I have to start all over again. I mean,
Yeah,
say what you will about Zack Snyder and those films and whether or not, they should have done Batman v Superman or whatever, right? Um, he had a vision of how to build this universe. He knew the characters that needed their emphasis. He knew how to prioritize, which characters meant the most to people, and just going back and looking at, the way he laid out things and leading to a Justice League, it looks
yeah,
so much more smarter than what James Gunn and Peter Safran are doing right now. James Gunn and Peter Safran's universe feels like, um, you know, it's getting way too cute. They just think that they're smarter than everyone else, and they're the type of people to tell you what you want to see, like what they think is important that you should, not listening to the fans dying for, you know, Batman and Green Lantern, like a real Hal Jordan Green Lantern and things like that. How Hal Jordan continues to get sidelined because we know that there's the Lantern Show and Jason Pierre's John Stewart is not Jason Pierre, Aaron Pierre. Sorry, his John Stewart is appearing in the Superman sequel. So somebody got the ring.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, but Peacemaker was great, and I know we don't have the same view in the Superman movie, but I thought they could still, they could still pivot off that, and Supergirl's done for. You can't go back, but now you can't mess up the future. Now you only got a couple chances left, and you gotta hit this out the park. You just have to.
Yeah. Absolutely. We'll see what happens with DC as we wait for some more Clayface news, and um, we'll see how that goes. Huge thing for us on this channel and for fans. X-Men 97 drops tomorrow, so we get the season 2 premiere. We get a 3-episode premiere and a new scene, a new little exclusive clip to whet our appetite. Let's take a look at that. Drummer powers.
Who are you to stand against that which is eternal? In our time, we're called the X-Men.
Arctic winds freeze their icy hearts.
Whoa, bro! I still don't understand the ideology in the X-Men world and shape-shifting, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, it's crazy to think like Morph has to be the most powerful mutant alive. Morph and Mystique, they can just turn into them and have the powers. And I mean, he's wielding Mjolnir. How does he able to create that? Like,
Yeah, they're like shape-shifting, but they also have Rogue's powers. I never get that part.
yeah, why doesn't he just turn into Apocalypse? And
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Turn into Thanos and snap your finger.
yeah, exactly. But he just shapeshifts into Thanos with the gauntlet and then
Yeah.
snaps everything away.
Oh man, nice titles though.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun season. We get the first 3 episodes here tomorrow on Wednesday. We start that Rise of Apocalypse storyline. But the thing that, the great 90s reference, Weapon X lies in DVDs, obviously a play on sex lies and videotape. But I look at that episode on July 29th, Strange Land, Savage Heart. We're going to the Savage Land, dinosaurs and X-Men.
And breaking hearts, man. It's gonna be Las Vegas and Savage Land. So I'm assuming and predicting that there's gonna be some heartbreaking in the air with love that occurred once from a certain couple.
Yes. And I know we teased that we thought that person was going to be one of Apocalypse's horsemen. So in that clip we just showed, that was described as the X-Men taking on Apocalypse's horsemen. And no sign of you-know-who.
Yeah, we'll see.
So maybe just in a different time. We know the X-Men are kind of scattered throughout time and different universes. But I'm excited to see 3 episodes. I'm not sure whether they're dropping right away or if we have to wait to the evening, which I think we had to do for season 1. But either way, we get more X-Men 97 goodness.
Either way, the countdown's on. I'm
Exactly.
ready for it. Just in case you're wondering what this is, Steve, this isn't headphones. This is air that blows in my face when I go to the theme park later.
Oh, perfect. Well, let's let you get on to your birthday festivities. That's going to do it all for today. Before we go, any final thoughts?
Just one quick one. I saw a clip of Peter Parker and football legend and greatest player and the planet Messi meeting.
Yeah.
That was a little crazy. And then Peter Parker, was really excited. And then Spider-Man comes around. He gets Spider-Man, and Spider-Man meets Messi. And then Spider-Man is holding Messi and, web slinging everywhere. Even in the Spider-Man world in MCU, Messi still gets a lot of clout. God damn it.
It was only a matter of time before you got the Marvel World Cup collab.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's show. Thank you so much to everyone who watched, who listened. Thank you so much for stepping inside the Villainz Lair with us, and we will see you on the next one.